Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to move on with our next guest because he's got to get back to his archery class before weaving and pottery, because you see he's taking a quick breather from summer camp to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, Osric Chau.
Osric Chau.
Hi.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Rob?
Good. So, are long gone the days of you cosplaying? Is that not... I mean, it used to be, you'd come out, you'd be a Disney character.
Wait a minute.
Rich didn't know who you were.
Isn't he one of the kids from Stranger Things right now? Isn't that what he's... I thought this was your cosplay. Am I wrong?
It's been a long time. I haven't been able to cosplay in a long time. I've stopped playing games. How weird is that?
Emotional or like actual games?
All games.
Don't die.
I started choking on apples more.
Really, you stopped playing games? You like said no, because you really were. It was a problem.
It was a problem.
So what do you do with that 17 hours in your day now?
No, I started waking up in the middle of the night several times, like every hour and a half, to like click something. And I was doing this without setting an alarm because my body was just on automatic mode because it was more efficient to play that way. And then I realized that was a problem, and it was affecting my work, and I wasn't really getting full nights of sleep, and that was important. And so I just had to cut it off cold turkey, and I deleted all the apps on my phone.
Wow.
And there was like maybe a day and a half of withdrawal.
Sure, I bet there was.
And then I became uber productive.
I remember hanging out with you after Saturday Night Special one night, and we hang out late at Saturday Night Special nights. And what do you call it? What do you and Brianna name it?
Snap.
Snap. Saturday Night After Party?
Yep.
Saturday Night After Party. So we're at the Snap, and then at like 3 a.m., we're all going home, and all right, see you later, guys, and you head out to catch some Pokemons or something.
On the beach?
On the beach. I want to get to the beach. I got to get to the beach. There's a Pokemon on the beach.
And then I remember the next day we were giving you all kinds of grief about going off to the beach to catch Pokemon, and your response was, I was surprised how not crowded it was. I'm not sure everybody has the same thing.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m.
There was a couple of times that happened. There was that one time where I tried to go outside without shoes and you guys really freaked out at me. It was like 2 meters out of the door and I would have been fine.
You look like a crazy person.
And we're probably by the garbage dump.
Catch something that wasn't really there.
But if you can see it, if you can feel it, doesn't that make it real?
That's the old Osric talking.
Yeah.
It was a licking tongue. I spent 2 months trying to find a licking tongue.
So licking tongue
It finally showed up. It was right outside the range of my hotel.
It's called Lickitung?
Yeah.
That's dirty.
Yeah, it is. He's probably Lickitung, the dirtiest Pokemon. That's the Pokemon. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Pokemon sounds dirty too. Rob, this is a dirty game he's been playing.
Yeah, on the beach. No less.
I stopped playing that game.
I'm a Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm a Slappymon.
We're doing Jamaicans. Famously work. I'm a Pokemon.
I'm a Slappymon.
I missed you guys.
We missed you too.
You know. All right, this is too much quality time, ladies and gentlemen. His school bus picks him up really soon, so we gotta hurry. Osric Chau, everybody.
So Pokemon Go was one of the games that kind of controlled my life for a bit. And then it came up with the expansion, and that's when I called it quits. I'm like, I'm a level 34. It takes a long time to get there. Probably should have quit at level 10. And because of the expansion, I was like, I had 148 out of the 150. And I was so close, and then the expansion came out, and all of a sudden there was 251, and that's a never-ending cycle. And same thing happened with World of Warcraft. One of the top players in the world, 40-man raids, Molten Core, and then they opened up with the expansion, and all of a sudden the best items in the game were all of a sudden not so great anymore. And games. They know how to suck you in. Can I talk about Dirk Gently? I'm going to talk about Dirk. Okay. Has anyone seen Dirk Gently? I know it's hard to watch in America. This is for those of you who haven't seen it. I think it's a secret, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Next week, they're going to release it online somewhere. Or it's on BBC America right now. So Dirk Gently is the new show that I'm on. We're shooting season 2 in Vancouver, and this is actually a shirt from season 1 that I got to keep, meaning I stole it from set, because I really liked it. It's a kitten, and I really like kittens, and it was just one of those things. But it's a really fun, insane show. It's super Who-lock in one show. Like, actually. It's a detective show that's kind of with the Doctor Who insanity with supernatural elements. It's all genres, and it is the craziest thing I've ever been a part of or have heard about. Every time we read this script, our minds are just blown. The things that we're doing. I start off this season with a pompadour. If you don't know what that is, it's a hairstyle that kind of goes like back like that. Halfway through, we just finished the pompadour. Now I get braids, so I'm growing my hair out, which is why I'm wearing the hat, because it's easier than doing stuff with my hair. But it's just really fun. I get to be in a medieval world. I've always wanted to do a medieval something, but like English medieval, but it didn't really work out because there weren't that many Chinese people in England. But in this show it happened, so that's really cool. And I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about, but they're probably spoilers. But give it a chance, watch Dirk Gently. I hear it's a really great show. Okay, let's open up the floor to some questions. Hi.
So, I just want to say I love your Asian American Spotlight on YouTube. That's amazing.
I do.
Yeah, of course. And I was wondering if you're going to continue on with that.
I've done 13 already.
Do more.
I know. So, I've had a YouTube page since 2009? A long time. I've had a YouTube page for a long time, and I almost never use it, but this year I decided to, all of my best and most terrible ideas come in the middle of the night. So it was like 3 a.m. and I was reading all these articles about whitewashing and Asian roles all these projects that really shouldn't have maybe happened. And I was reading all these articles and blogs and rants and stuff about people just complaining about how Hollywood is doing all these things that they shouldn't. And I'm like, well, I want to do something more proactive. I don't want to complain. I want to kind of help with the solution. And so I started a weekly YouTube video thing that I post on my Facebook page too, called the Asian American Spotlight, where I just want to kind of highlight people that are doing something cool or worthwhile to talk about. I mean, it's like a news thing for Asian Americans. Because growing up, I went through a lot of struggles not being represented. I talk about this on the videos, but when I was a kid, one of the things that I wanted to be, one of the things that I aspired to be, was a white guy. And why is that? It's because all of the coolest people that I knew, that I saw on TV, all of the superheroes, everyone was white dudes. And so, of course, the younger me didn't really know what else to want to be except a white guy. But that didn't work out very well. And it's a really messed up thing when you kind of limit yourself because, you're not shown all of these possibilities of what you could be. So if I kind of took what I was given, I might have been a really bad doctor. I would have been an unimpassioned music teacher. I would have been a terrible mathematician. There's all these things that people told me I should be or could have been. And if I didn't at some point rebel against that idea, I probably would have been very unhappy. Right? So I started making this series in the hopes that someone somewhere who might have been a little version of me might be inspired to kind of go out of their way and do something that maybe no one has told them that they could. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm also getting into the habit of YouTubing. I'm not very good at it, but if you want to follow my channel, I don't even know my channel name. Is it Osric Chau? Does anyone know? Anyways, I'll find it and I'll tell you guys tomorrow. It might be Osric Chau, but it might not be it. It is? Okay. Great, there it is. Easy, I should always name my things my name. Hi.
Hi, speaking of YouTube, this is kind of old, but what was it like when you were on the Hollywood show and with that stuff?
Those girls are so cool. Okay, they're a great example of just doing something because you like it and kind of making it a career. They started off making home videos, like little backyard parodies of their favorite things when they were 7. Dad had a camera that they could use and they just started doing it, and I don't think she'll ever share these, but they were probably really crappy back then because they were 7. But they're also probably really cute and they enjoyed doing it, and so they kept doing it, and now they're as good as any full-blown production out there. Like, you watch the level of these parodies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Hollywood show, they did this supernatural parody, was it 2 years ago? A bunch of the Supernatural cast got in on it because what other show would do a parody of their own show but the Supernatural one? And I don't know, just every one of us, like when we watch their videos, we're just so impressed at what they're able to do. And it's 2 sisters and a couple of their friends, and they throw on this huge production. The first time I saw their video was, I saw the Doctor Who parody, and I was just so impressed that this was like a homemade, like, independent thing, because it's at such a high caliber that, I mean, you just don't see that normally, or ever. Their latest one was the Suicide Squad parody, and it looks so good. So good. I think it's better than the movie. But yeah, working with them, it's an inspiration. I like to do a lot of indie projects. I like to really rough and tough it and kind of stay up all night working on something that usually turns out garbage. But working with them, staying up all night, and you kind of know it's gonna turn out to something pretty great because they really do their homework on that one. So yeah, it's a pleasure working with the Hollywood girls, and I think they're doing Stranger Things next, so I'm really excited to see that. You're welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Alex.
What's your favorite thing about working on the set of Work Dirt Gently?
Working on the set of Dirt Gently, every day is so different. So the last day I was in a magical forest, in a bed of flowers. I had braids in my hair, with flowers in my hair as well. I was surrounded by these Oompa Loompa troll characters, and they were like fanning me. And then these knights came in, and we kind of fought them, maybe? That's what I kind of remember. I don't know. I like how random it is. Season 1, it's like steampunky, and it goes into time travel, and it's set in the real world. Season 2, we're set in this medieval world, as well as the normal world, and then a third world, apparently, that I don't know yet. And it's just such a variety, and usually on a show, you don't ever get to work on so many different kinds of sets. It feels like we're in a different show every episode, or every season at least. I get bored really easy, so I think I enjoyed that about Dirt Gently. It's really hard to predict. Thank you, Alex. Hey there.
Hi. My question is, if you could be any Disney character, which one would you be and why?
One that I haven't been already?
Or that one, doesn't really matter.
If I could be a Disney character, Huh. That's a good question. I do watch a lot of... Does Disney and Pixar count?
Yeah.
What are some Disney and Pixar movies?
First one comes to mind is Cars. I don't know why, so probably nothing from that one.
No, oh man. This one is something I should have in handy. What, you start. What's your character?
I wasn't expecting this. I don't really know.
When you ask a question, always be ready to answer it yourself.
Probably Moana, just because she's really awesome.
Alright. Then I will be the guy The Rock plays, just so I can have really big Maui. I will be Maui so I can have super huge pecs and the tattoos that dance on them. That would be really fun. We would just play with ourselves. Oh, that sounds so wrong. Maui. Yeah, Maui. Come on.
Thank you.
That was a really good movie. Thank you. Heather.
Hello. I wanted to know what your favorite Pokemon was.
These are the thoughts that make me feel really old, but I like it. I like it back in the old days when, you know, they only had 150. Like, the starting 3 Pokemon probably were Psyduck. I think Psyduck's like the only one with a real personality. But I'll accept any of the 150 up until Muse, 151. Yeah, that first movie, still my favorite Pokemon movie. One of the first times I ever cried watching a movie. I don't know if you remember it, but that scene with Pikachu. Yeah, I think any of the 151, Charmander, Psyduck. Yeah, let's stop there, because if I think of more, I'll probably keep naming them. Probably those 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Osric. What's your favorite moment while filming Dirt Gently with Max Landis? Because he's kind of crazy sometimes.
Hold on, can you repeat that question?
Oh, sorry. What's your favorite moment while filming Dirt Gently with Max Landis, and why does he not have pink hair?
Okay, so Max Landis is our executive producer, writer, creator of the show. He is like this wonderkin of a guy. He's 31 and he writes more than anyone I've ever heard of. He writes so many things. Last year he was writing on 2 separate shows every episode and 4 movies at the same time. I don't know how that's physically possible because he also gets full night's rest. And he's also insane. I think actually my favorite thing about Max, I mean, apart from him just like oozing storytelling, like he'll go off on all these stories every single day. He'll pitch us like a new idea that he just came up with, and it's like a fully fleshed out story. My favorite thing about Max is he's also like the most active on social media I've ever seen anyone, including professional YouTubers or Instagrammers. He is constantly on all of his social media. And it's his show, and we have all these long NDAs and things that we're not supposed to share, but he Snapchats everything. And so we are all unsure of what we are allowed to share, because like some things like, no, that's a secret, and then Max is in there Snapchatting it. I'm like, but it's a secret, but it's his show, but if we do it, we'd get in trouble. But he's doing it now. Does that mean it's out there? We don't know. It's really hard to deal with Max, but he's super high energy. Having him read our characters, he does an impression of every single character so well that it's probably one of my favorite things to do is just to watch him read an entire script by himself, because he gets super animated. He's really tall and lanky, and he really gets into it, and it's very, very entertaining. Yeah, he's the fun kind of insane. And he's also just incredibly generous. Every year he plans like these huge balls, like these huge parties, and he just invites all of his friends that he knows, and he's just like, hosts everyone. He rents out these, like a huge venue like this place, and they'll like get all these balloons and musicians playing and random performers. I mean, it's crazy. He just like throws this big party to get all his friends together. I mean, I've never really met anyone that kind of does that every year, like 4 times a year, I think. Max is, he's crazy in the best possible way, and I'm so thankful to be able to just like watch him play. I gotta stop using the word play. Absolutely love Max.
Thank you, Oscar.
You're welcome.
Hi, Oscar.
Hey!
So you actually did the Walking Dead parody before you did Supernatural parody, so I wanted to ask, how did you get involved with Hollywood, and then what was your reaction when they approached you about the Supernatural parody?
I met Hollywood in Spain at this random convention. One of the reasons why I love conventions so much is meeting random people. And as soon as I saw that Doctor Who parody, I'm like, you girls completely undersold yourselves. That was amazing. When are you going to do Supernatural? When are you going to do a Supernatural parody and I want to play Crowley? I think those were my exact words to them. And they're like, oh yeah, like we gotta have the idea first, and I don't know, it's been so long since we've watched the show, we've seen most of it, but we'll probably have to rewatch it again. And then I didn't hear from them. A month later, I get a text from Haley. It's like, hey, we're doing Walking Dead parody. You want to be Glenn? I'm like, yeah, of course I want to be Glenn, but how about a Supernatural parody? And I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually she finally had this idea for Supernatural, and we went for it, and all of the guys just jumped at the chance, and it was one of the coolest things ever. We shot it during one of the Vegas cons, just in like a little room. I just asked people to, like, guys, just trust me, get in that room and dance for like 30 seconds. That's it. And they did! I love this group. They're so nice. And trusting. So trusting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Other than Dirk Gently, what's a show you want to star on?
Probably one that's not out there yet, because then there's an actual chance. Breaking Bad. I could be Walter White. I could teach chemistry, kind of, and be really good at making that, and walk around in my underwear a lot. I don't know. Honestly, there's so many possibilities. I don't think I'm attached to any one genre. I think it always comes down to the story. If it's a fun character, if it's oh my god, live action of One Punch Man. You don't know what One Punch Man is? It's my favorite anime right now. It's so weird and fun. It's like Dragon Ball, but more focused with the humor and self-awareness. Live action of One Punch Man with full VFX budget. So good. Attack on Titan with full VFX budget. Not without a VFX budget, because otherwise it's just gonna look pretty bad. Maybe any anime. I would love to be like the first successful live action anime adaptation. So good. But yeah, so many things. Do you have one in mind for me?
I think Attack on Titan would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's so brutal. I get to do some action, we get to do some really cool effects and stunt work. And I really want to do more stunt work until my bones and joints deteriorate. Thank you.
Hi. So like 2.5 years ago, you were playing Amnesia on Twitch like all night long, and I was watching all night. And actually, I'm wearing the Pikachu hat.
What hour is that?
I don't know. It was late.
That was a blur.
It was like 4 a.m. So I was just wondering if you like ever had to like stay up all night for any like odd reason.
Oh yeah. Back to my gaming obsession. I have done 2 weeks separately 2 1-week periods where I haven't slept. So the first 1-week period where I haven't slept was, I don't even want to say the name of the game, but I will. It was a game called Maple Story. It's such a, honestly, it's a game for kids, based out of Korea, and I played it because it was a game for kids, and kids are stupid, and it was really easy to beat them. But I'm so ashamed. I was younger back then. I was basically a kid. They opened a new server, and so for the first week they had like double experience for the first week if you joined this new server. And me and my best friend's like, oh my god, we can join this new server and be the best in the world. And so we did, and we played for a week straight. That was very unhealthy. But I would take like 10-minute bathroom breaks. That was about it. And we would just be on like autopilot. I had the world's most understanding and enabling girlfriend ever. And she like fed me while I was playing on her computer. She was too good for me. And by the end of the week, we were both top 10 in the world. And the day after, well, of course we were exhausted, we decided that we had to cut ourselves off, and then we sold our accounts for like $1,000, which is a lot of money to, you know, a broke college kid. And then I reflected on my life, I'm like, would I have made that much money if I worked a minimum wage job? The answer was no. I made a little bit more, but I would have been able to sleep, so I don't know. The second time I did it was when I was doing some independent film. So the first couple of times that I did my own like indie films was part of these contests called 48-hour film festivals. And I did 2 in a row. And so that was like 3 days each of no sleep, 1 day of prep, 1 day of shoot, 1 day of post-production. We prep before the actual 48 hours begins. They did 2 in a row for some reason, because there's 2 different groups, and one of them did it late, and they just wanted to do it anyway, so I joined in. And I don't know what it is about it, but when I'm in that zone of like getting stuff done, or like collecting these achievements, I don't know, you just kind of block out everything. And you don't really think that you're tired and hungry or thirsty or you need to poop. You just kind of do the thing that you have to do. And there's this energy, this excitement that kind of flows through you, and I thrived off of that. And so honestly, anytime I get on a project that I like enough not to sleep, I get so excited. And usually those are the projects that I do for free, or I pay for, which is kind of funny. But with that being said, everyone make sure you eat and drink water this weekend. Like actually, that's, we often forget, especially at these cons, and like you might be dehydrated by the end of tomorrow, and it's not good. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I guess I also did the 26 hours at the live streaming. Oh, also last night I basically stayed up all night. I had a 2-hour nap before my flight, and then I got picked up at 4 a.m., got to the airport, flight was delayed, and so I stayed at the airport for 4 hours and I got some work done. I guess I can operate pretty good on the less sleep. I enjoy that. Hi!
Hi. What is your funniest or craziest fan experience?
Funniest or craziest fan experience? I don't know, I don't really, like, write those down. You know what? The funniest ones are the ones where you least expect it. At the conventions, it's almost all girls, but outside of the conventions, it's almost all guys. I mean, there's a lot of speculation on why that might be. One of my favorite things, I was at a friend's show at the Viper Room in LA. Super tiny venue, and you know, it's just not a crowd that I would expect to see a Supernatural fan. And I'm in this crowd watching my friends play, and in the middle of a song, this really tall dude walks by with like drinks above everyone's heads. And he like raises past me and he goes, "Kevin Tran!" And then he just keeps going. And I didn't know what to do about it. I'm like, okay. And then he did it on the way back after that. So I thought that was pretty funny. I don't get it. But it was kind of funny. I don't know. What's the craziest fan experience you've ever done?
If I had any fans.
Okay, have you ever fangirled so hard that you're like, oh, that's something someone's gonna tell a story about?
When Harry Styles was on SNL, I may have cried for 2 days straight.
Because he was that bad? Oh wait, well, why would you cry for that long?
Because they're wonderful.
Did you re-watch it again halfway through, or was it the memory of it lasted that long?
Probably both.
Okay. I'm sure it was wonderful. 2 days straight, wow. Were you clocking it? When it stopped, you're like, that was 2 days. Was there one of those moments?
Well, I may have been sitting on the couch with the clock right in front of me the whole time, and I just like look at the TV and look down and be like, maybe 24 more hours.
Do you remember sleeping and waking up like, oh yeah, still amazing.
No sleeping.
Oh, you stayed up for 2 days straight?
No sleeping with Harry Styles. We don't play.
But maybe he'll play with you. Okay, no. All right, next. Wow, that's impressive. I don't know if I've ever cried over something for extended periods of time. I've cried over a lot of things. I cried over not wanting to go to a peach farm once for like 5 hours. Sometimes it's a matter of principle. I like peaches, but just not at the time. I've cried over not being allowed in the West Edmonton Mall pool. I was 4, and you weren't allowed in if you were under 5 without a parent or guardian, and no one wanted to go with me, and so I threw a fit. And this is halfway between my parents and my aunts telling me this. They kept telling me that I tore down the mall, and I actually believed it until I was like 10. I'm like, there's no way I could have torn down the mall. That's probably where my obsession with the Incredible Hulk came from. But I remember throwing a huge tantrum. They even have photos of it that I tried to tear up, but they're somewhere. Where I'm just like kicking and screaming on the floor, and they're all like standing around me watching, probably laughing. And then they bought me a skateboard, which they shouldn't have done. That's enabling. My brother got really sad because he didn't get a skateboard, and he didn't even throw a tantrum. Yeah, but not 2 days. But I haven't seen Harry Styles on SNL yet, so I'll give it a try. If I'm crying tomorrow, you know why. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So you post a lot of pictures on social media of cats, whether they're yours or your friends.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what your favorite cat was and the favorite story about the cat.
Oh, favorite cat. It's hard to have favorite cats. You can't really do that. What if they hear about it? I'm just kidding, I'm not crazy. My favorite one was this. So we foster kittens, just in case you're wondering where I get all these cats from. We don't just like take cats and throw them away. We get batches of cats, so anytime someone leaves them by the police station or at the shelter, they need homes, because if they stay in the shelter for too long, they can get diseases and stuff hanging out with all the kittens. So there's a couple of foster families, and we're one of the main ones, and we deal with a lot of the small cats. And so we get all these batches of kittens all the time. And we've been through so many naming cycles, but one batch was a Harry Potter batch. And so we had Ron, Hermione, and Harriet, because we had 2 girls, but we wanted to call them Harry Potter characters. And this Hermione cat was just like this little fluffy gray one. And she was like, her hair was everywhere, she didn't comb it, so very much Hermione-like. And she just had these eyebrows or eyes that made her look super sad all the time. Or like frowny. And I thought it was the cutest thing. And so I would just hang out with her laying on me. And that was probably the closest I got to wanting to adopt one of the kittens. It's so hard. Once you adopt like 1 or 2 or 3 of them, it's over. So yeah, I think if you can like get past the first 4, then you're probably good to be a foster parent. Otherwise, yeah, it's hard because you get attached. You get attached. Hermione. I mean, I'm also a huge Harry Potter fan, so that probably has something to do with it. Like, I've never watched Star Wars. I know, it's one of those things. The hipster in me won't allow it. It's just too cool. And there was a Star Wars batch, but I was just like, yeah, the Force be with them, sure. But I don't know, I wasn't into it. So maybe it has something to do with the names, but Hermione cat for sure. Hermione kitten. I wish we could follow up with them more, but I guess, you know, they don't like it when you bother them. Like, how's Hermione doing? And they're like, no, her name's Ralph now. I don't know what happened to Hermione. She's in a place now. Won't say better. Thank you.
Thank you.
How fun was it playing the bad guy on Criminal Minds Beyond Borders?
Oh, I gotta play bad guy! I wish it lasted longer. So Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, a bunch of us did a couple episodes on that, and I got to play bad guy for the first time. Like a real bad guy. I was the baddest, most notorious fish smuggler out of Singapore. Doesn't sound very bad, but he's really bad. These fish are super expensive and super illegal. Not very dangerous though, because they're really small. But the stakes are high because people really want these fish, they're really pretty. And I was really badass. I didn't care what they thought. I was gonna smuggle these fish in, whether they wanted it or not. They didn't want it because they're endangered species. Their lives are at stake, but I didn't care. That was such a badass. Okay, it was such a quick thing. I shot everything in one day. It almost didn't work out with my schedule, and I pretty much flew in, went straight to set, or went straight to fitting, had an hour nap, went straight to set, filmed until my plane came, and then that was it. So sometimes when you get into one of those like one-day shoots, where it should have been 3, you almost don't remember anything, and I kind of forgot most of it. But I do remember that I was a super badass, smuggling all these exotic fish into Singapore. You wouldn't do that, Richard.
No, they're endangered species.
Exactly.
We were busy getting killed in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
That's right. Chose the wrong life.
Oh, is that the show you did there?
Yeah, Criminal Minds.
Hey, I think it's cool that you never put down the apple.
No.
I did. I picked it back up, so I was going to finish it.
Ew.
I learned that I couldn't talk while eating.
Now? A lot of children learn that right out of the gate there, Junior.
Richard, we all learn at different paces. You can't.
We certainly do. This guy. All right, he's here. He'll be here tonight. He's not going anywhere. We got his mom extended his curfew. He's going to be at karaoke.
And you'll be there tomorrow night?
And he'll be